Hey, families, Pastor Jeremy, coming to share a devotion with you this morning. And I thought that there's a devotion that I shared in a staff meeting for, of course, our staff last week or the week before. And I thought that it might be helpful to share the same information with you all. Um, and it all stemmed from just the idea of explaining what theology is. I think we often hear or think of theology as the study of God, but in order to be scientifically studied, something has to be measurable, repeatable, and a few other requirements, which of course God is not as far as we can tell. But what we could do is gauge, measure, study humanity's relationship with God throughout history and our understanding of God. And that's more of what theology is. It's more of a study of human relationship with God. And so I started thinking about one of my favorite philosophers, Immanuel Kant. I guess you can't really see that, huh? Anyway, Immanuel Kant, and he asserted the idea that if you think you understand it, it's not God. Because God is so vast and infinite that we couldn't begin to understand or see or think that we know anything about God. But on the back end, one of the greatest theologians who ever lived, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, said that sure, God is bigger than what we can understand, bigger than what we can see, bigger than what we can fit into our tiny human brains. But God reveals God's self, or God reveals God's self to us through nature. Um, and one of the verses of the Bible that kind of speaks to this is Romans 1, verse 20. And it says, since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood through what has been made. And so um, when I think about all this and I reflect on all this, what I glean from it is that yes, this big God, this infinite God is revealed through nature, but also that nature has something to teach us about God. And even maybe the way that we work as humans can teach us something about God. Um, but thinking of creation, my mind went almost immediately to green spaces like trees and grass and some flowers. And an interesting fact kind of came across my desk, and that's that um, plants actually warn each other of approaching danger. They have an interesting network of roots under the soil where they release chemicals to communicate to other plants that are like them that, hey, something's eating leaves over here. So maybe secrete this unpleasant or bitter taste and smell so that you don't get eaten as well. And I started thinking about that and thinking about the kind of love, compassion, and community that speaks of. I don't know. I think that betrays a loving and communal creator. To think about the fact that even plants can be in community with one another. And so I think that creates an ask for us. How much better can we be? How much better can we cover one another if plants cover one another? How much better can we relate and be connected and intertwined if plants do that? And I wonder if that's not why we're made. If that's not a huge part of what it means to be human. I thought this was interesting. There was an article about how the plants communicate with one another. Um, and it said, wise old mother trees feed their saplings with liquid sugar and warn the neighbors when danger approaches. Reckless youngsters take foolhardy risks with leaf shedding, like chasing and excessive drinking, and usually pay for it with their lives. Crown princesses wait for the old monarchs to fall so they can take their place in the full glory of sunlight. It's all happening in ultra slow motion. That is tree time. So that what we see is a freeze frame of all the action. I guess with all that, I guess I wonder when we look at our community, what does the freeze frame say? Does it look like folks who are older reaching back to teach, love on, nurture, disciple folks who are younger? Does it look like excited young folks wanting to learn and grow and figure out what it means to lead and what it means to follow and what it means to be in community? I think in big ways it does. But our prayer is that the Lord will lead us into deeper spirituality and teach us more what it means to love each other. And so I think that's all I got for you. I hope you have a great day. I hope your Tuesday is great. I hope your Monday was great. I hope the rest of your week is blessed. All right, blessings.